welcome back, everyone. Back here on Eagle Central, we have a whole lot to get into. The playoffs start next week, and the Birds play the Commodores on Sunday, and the starters won't start. But that isn't all. The Eagles are 4.5 point favorites against the Commodores on Sunday at home in the Link. The starters won't play, but there is some interesting details to get into, which we need to get right into here on Eagle Centric. Will Devontae Smith, who only needs 40 more yards to get that 1,000-yard season, get it? Will he get it? So we have a whole lot to jump into. Like I just said, let's stop listening to me yap and get right into it. Eagle Centric.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
He's at the 20.
They should stop this one.
What you got? Domination! Snot bubbles!
He throws. Complete. Touchdown. They've got him again. They've got him again. Sack Crumpler. What a throw. What a hit. What a catch.
Defense is just way too much for the count.
It's caught by Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown. He pushes. Touchdown. Jalen Hunt. Touchdown. A.J. Brown. A run. He's going to score. It's a touchdown by Nick Foles. The train is in the end zone. Touchdown. Torrey Smith in for the touchdown as Jeffrey's in. Touchdown. Jalen Hurts.
So the Birds are 4 point favorites against the Commodores, who we will be playing on Sunday. And it's going to be very interesting. The starters aren't playing, and the number 2 seed for the playoffs is up for grabs. We know that the Lions versus the Bears is a big game. We need the Lions to beat the Bears. We need them to have a huge victory. That's going to be a big NFC North divisional matchup. And like I just said, man, if the Lions can beat the Bears and we can beat the Commodores, that means we get the number 2 seed, and most likely we'll get the Packers, right? The Packers, yeah. We'll get the Packers in the first round, and most are saying that it'll be easier to play the Packers. We know that Hurts and Nick Sirianni against the Packers are 4-0, and I honestly think that that's probably a better matchup. That's probably the better route for the Birds, just seeing as though they haven't been able to get anything going. We're going to get right into the offense. Matter of fact, let's get right into it right now. The offense. This offense for the Birds. And the last time you saw me was a while ago. It's been a whole lot going on behind the camera. Not going to jump into that. I'm just happy to be back on camera with you guys. Like, subscribe, you know the routine. But like I was just saying, the offense has been the offense like we've been seeing in the past. Matter of fact, the whole season. The offense has been the same offense that we've been watching the entire season. And like I just said, the last time you saw me, I was complaining about the offense, getting ready to go against the Bears, who we need to lose, coincidentally, on Sunday. And the offense has still been what it's been all year. And we talked about this all year. The team as a whole can't get a full quarter going. The defense is on the field way too much, and we can't blame them once the offense of the opposing team starts to score. Like this last game against the Bills. We held the Bills to three. We held the Bills through three. We held the Bills through 3 quarters. 0 points. No points. Like, that is hard to do against a Josh Allen-led team, even with no receivers. But a defense as good as ours did that. And what did the offense show for it? How did they give their thanks? Right before Christmas? We pooped. We pooped the bed. Like, there is no excuse for why the Birds' offense is playing the way it is. We have the most expensive offense in the league, and nothing has been able to get going. The run game has just started to get a little hot. Thank God Tank Bigsby has been able to get inserted in the last few weeks. And watching the passing game, a lot of people like to blame Jalen, and a lot of people like to say it's Jalen Hurts' fault. But when you watch the route concepts and even just watching film as a fan, it's horrible to watch. you know, I seen some film with Emmanuel Acho, and he even said the play calling, the route designs, everything with the play calling is just not good for Jalen. It makes Jalen looks incompetent, and as fans who don't probably get into these things, all of these complex things that go on the field, and all the tedious things that you need in order for an offense to really function, they don't look into those things. So the first thing that they say is the quarterback is not playing good, which he hasn't. I'm not here, even though I do have on my Jalen Hurts jersey, and I'm going to always support one, but I'm not here to just fully say he's absolved of everything. No, Jalen has had some bad games also. The Chargers game, he threw all those interceptions. That's just not like him. But we've also seen the most, the worst play calling that you can give to an offense of this caliber. We have Saquon Barkley and all of these things that this offensive line has to offer. And, due to them being banged up, yeah, there has been a bunch of issues. But we've gotten past a lot of those injuries. And players are still playing hurt. Players are still playing bad. And some of the injuries are still lingering. The Juergens injury, he got a Pro Bowl nod, which I don't understand why. The only player on our offense to get a Pro Bowl nod was Cam Juergens, which was very weird. He's had a horrible season. And as an Eagle fan and as Bird fans, you watching can say the same thing. You all are probably nodding your head in agreement. It's like, yeah, he hasn't played good. And it's just been a whole lot of things wrong with this team this year. Now, the defense is a championship caliber defense. I'm not the first to tell you guys that. I won't be the last, because this defense has been able to do things that, I don't know, I didn't even think this defense would be able to do. Jalen Hunt, who I always called my favorite player on this defensive line, coming in his rookie season last year, I said, this is my favorite rookie. He's just been stellar. He's been all over the place. He's leading the defensive line with sacks. And, Jalen Carter is banged up. He's got a lot of injuries this year, and he's going to have to, see about those injuries in the offseason. But the defense as a whole has been just showing up game after game, against the Lions, against the Packers. These games that the defense has just been showing up in, and the offense has just not been there to match it. And everyone knows if the offense can just get 20% more competent, we could probably do something historical that the Birds haven't done ever. But it all starts with Kevin Patullo. And I know it's the same old, but it's what it is. And I've told you guys already, this offense is what the offense is going to be for the rest of the year. I told you guys that in week, 10, maybe 9. I told you guys this a couple of months ago. Happy New Year's to you guys also. But I told you guys this a couple of months ago, that this offense that you see is going to be the same offense. There's going to be things that we are going to hope that gets better. And even me, of course, I don't want the offense to look like it has, but there's going to be things that you're going to see throughout the weeks that's going to look the same. And it has been. I kind of had to stop getting my hopes up so high, because through the first 2 quarters of a season shows you what a team really is. The first 4 weeks, you're knocking the rust off, you're getting things back in gear, but you're starting to understand the scheme a little bit better. And after those second 4 weeks, that's the second quarter of the season, it's more like the team should be functioning. It should be a well-oiled machine. You're going to have some things wrong. Nobody's perfect. No team is. But you should be understanding the scheme. A team like us should be putting up 27 to 30 points a game. We shouldn't be a team that's scared of, possibly facing the 49ers in the first round, because the 49ers are putting up 43 plus points a game. It's those things that's making, the offense look like the way it is. It's those things that are concerning about the offense. I'm sorry. But, this offense is what it is. They've had some great games, some great halves of games. And all we've needed was them to keep their foot on the gas and bring that into the second half of these games, and they haven't. Against the Bills, that game could have been a blowout. We could have really stomped on the Bills at home and, had everybody buy back in to the Eagles. We don't really need any outsiders buying back into the Eagles anyway, because they most likely never were. If you buy out, then you have to buy back in. But anyway, all I'm saying is we could get some momentum going again, which brings me into this next topic about not playing the starters on Sunday, And I want to know, how do you guys feel? Because I'm kind of in between. I'm on the fence about it. Should we play the starters? Should we not? Back to what I was just saying with this next topic. Yes, the offense has been playing not as good as they should be, but this could be a game where, yeah, you already beat the Commanders, and who knows, you might not even get the 2 seed if you win the game, but it could, boost the morale of the team. But also on the other side, it's like I just said, you might not even get that 2 seed. Someone might get banged up in that game. Who knows? We know that the Washington Commanders want their quote-unquote get back because of, Jalen Carter or someone poking someone in the eye the last Commanders game. They have a lot of animosity towards the Eagles. We don't like them. They don't like us, like Saquon Barkley said in the post-game conference against the Commanders. So, that isn't a secret. But like I said, it kind of would boost the morale on the other end. It's like, let's just play it safe than sorry. Nick Sirianni also said the same thing that I'm saying. I'm honestly just repeating what he said, because sitting the starters could be the best choice. Tanner McKee is up to start, and we all love Tanner. And he's going against a Josh Johnson-led Commanders team. This isn't Jaden Daniels, who's been hurt all year. So, and there's a lot of other injuries on that team. They're an old team, and there's a ton of injuries that the Washington Commanders are facing. So, Laramie Tunsil. So, this could be a chance for us to still win the game with the backups and get a good look at some of our backups that we haven't been able to watch play. I've been watching a lot of other Eagles channels, and a name that came across that I haven't heard all year was Jacorian Bennett. Maybe we might be able to see Jacorian Bennett get some reps in Sunday's matchup against the Commanders. Who knows? But Tanner McKee is going to be, that's the blue chip. That's the one that everyone wants to watch play, even me. So Sunday we're going to be able to watch the backups play. I'm not as excited about it because I kind of want to see the starters, but as I said, I'm on the fence about it. So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comments. How do you feel? Do you think the starters should play? Will it boost the morale, or is it too late for that? I kind of think it's too late for that also. So that's why I say I'm on the fence with it. Because against the Bills, I said, well, maybe this would be the game that boosts the morale. And the offense still came out there in the second half and just put up a poopy performance. Now, hopefully, let's not be all negative in this show, because I am just coming back after a long hiatus, I guess you can call it. So I'm not just going to come back on here with the most negative things to say about our favorite team. But some positives are in this, because all we need the Birds to do, because we see that the championship caliber defense is there. If the Birds can just bring that first half offense to the playoffs, and I mean bring that in each quarter, we see that the first and second quarter, they're balling. The defense is being the defense, what the defense usually does. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, Marcus Epps has stepped up at safety since Andrew Makuba has went down. We're going to get Andrew Makuba back in the playoffs. That's something big that we should be looking out for. But, the defense is playing well. And if the offense through those first and second quarters can bring that same offense third and fourth quarter, we'll be back to back. I'm sorry. We'll do that. We could do that. But I haven't had much faith and much hope in this team this year. It's been very, very frustrating to watch. Beyond frustrating. And sometimes it's like, how much can you take? How much frustrating can it be? It's like, after a while, it's just you watching it with a straight face. Even when the team does good, you just like, you're waiting on it. But man, it feels so good to get back in front of this camera and talk to you guys about the Birds, man. You don't understand. It's been a long couple of weeks watching this team play and just dealing with everything else. Happy New Year's again. A late Merry Christmas. I'm probably the last person to tell you, but, just want to tell you guys that anyway. There's been a lot of things that we could get into with the Birds, and I really want to know, do you guys think should we fight for that second seed, for that 2 seed? And who would you guys rather face off against? And we know, and I'm doing this video right now as the Seahawks and the 49ers are playing right now. And we know that Seattle is a little shaky when it comes to the quarterback position in the playoffs, because we don't know what Seattle as a team will do in the playoffs. But we know the quarterback has a history. Sam Darnold has a history of not really coming to play his best in the playoffs. So, hopefully the Seattle Seahawks beat the 49ers. They get in the playoffs, get wiped out in the first round. That's advantage Birds. Or are you guys do you guys have more faith in the Birds that we could go and play the 49ers, let them beat the Seattle Seahawks, and we could see the 49ers first round, whatever round, and beat them? Because the Seattle Seahawks have a good defense, but the offense is pretty shaky sometimes. And the 49ers have a really good offense, but the defense is very horrible. So it's whichever one you want. Or do you want, like I said in the beginning of the video, the Bears lose to the Lions, we beat the Commies, and what do you know? Packers in the first round. It's a whole lot of shuffling, a whole lot going on. I'm just happy to talk to you guys about it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, I really just want to know, how do you guys feel? How do you guys and gals feel about the Birds gearing up for the playoffs, man? We still have to be excited. We still got to be, we got to have some excitement. The Birds are getting ready to go in the playoffs. One and done if you lose, and we know that. So let's go in the playoffs rooting for our boys to do what they do best, and that's win games. The guy I have on my jersey, this guy right here, he wins a lot of games. And, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, as you know the rest, the Birds are going to come in, they're going to show up. And the fear for most Bird fans isn't that the Birds are going to come in to the playoffs and get blown out by some inferior team or some superior team, because there aren't any superior teams in the NFC. And that's just facts. The fear for most Bird fans is that the Birds are going to get this huge lead on some team in the playoffs, whoever it may be. And in the second half, they're going to poop it away, as we've seen them do this season. And that's the biggest fear. And that's why I said earlier in the video, if the Birds can just bring their first half offense, hell, in some games, the second half offense also, just bring that into the playoffs for 3 to 4 games, and the Birds can do something historic. I don't, at this point, I'm very, very ready for the offseason. Like, I could taste the offseason. I can't wait for Howie to cook. You know what I mean. I can't wait for some guys to pack up their stuff and leave the NovaCare facility. Peacefully, humbly, of course. But there's some changes to be made, man. Like, we need offensive linemen, and I'm not even going to get into all of that. That's for the offseason. As of now, the Birds gear up for the playoffs. Like I said before, let's root for our boys to do what we know that they do best, and that's win games. Here on Egocentric, man, I'm going to be right here waiting for you. Be right back soon. Tomorrow, we'll be right back with another show. And, yeah, man, the Birds play the Commies tomorrow. Not the starters, though. And let's hope that Devontae gets maybe, a drive. Let's see if he can get his 40 yards to end off the regular season with 1,000 yards. I hope Nick Sirianni at least lets, Devontae Smith get that grace. And if he does, God's willing, he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood. This is a wooden table. But yeah, man, I'm here hanging out. I'll be back with you guys here on Egocentric. You know the routine. Be blessed. Go Birds. Wait. Oh, and I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah. The Birds ticket giveaway hasn't went anywhere. The Egocentric Eagles game ticket giveaway hasn't went anywhere. I got to put a shorter name on that. That was a long pause. But no, the ticket giveaway hasn't went anywhere. Still live in effect. All you guys have to do is like, comment, subscribe, share. You know the routine. And we weren't able to get to our journey that we were reaching for, but we still had hella fun on this channel, and we're going to keep on striving to get there. And as we do that, we're going to do this ticket giveaway. Also, while that's going on, the jersey giveaway, we're going to start ramping that up also. So, like I said, you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, do everything. Let me know how you feel in the comments down below. I'll be here waiting on you guys next show. And yeah, peace.